When should you decide to quit your job? Now, that's a very good question, and coming from someone who has quit his corporate MNC job to start a business full-time, I could give you 2 push and 1 pull reason. And since I could only speak from my own experience, then my sharing will be quite limited. So for those of you who have any other ideas or sharing, come and join us at our 7,000 members Telegram group at HoneyMoneySG to share why you will quit your job. Now, the first push reason is definitely the lack of growth. And I'm not talking about your salary growth. I'm talking about your personal development and skills and network growth. How many of you realize that once you reach a certain level or position, then you feel that you cannot advance further because the senior level people in your company are not moving, and hence you got no space to move up. And it's a very real thing for small companies because the positions are so limited. How many partners, how many directors, how many senior managers can you have in a less than 100-person company? Very few, less than 10. If you want to move up to a higher position, either that person have to leave the job or retire, or that person is transferred overseas to another position. Then there is availability for the one below to move up. Otherwise, you will be stuck in that position forever. And that is just on the corporate ladder thing. What if you are an individual contributor? You realize that this job doesn't grow you much in terms of skills and development. Your skills are only limited to this position and you want to try out new stuff, but your boss don't approve because it costs the company money. And you found that there's no more real challenge in your current job. You felt that you could do almost everything and every work day is kind of the mundane, same routine stuff happening over and over again. Nothing changes despite how you aspire to change things. Then this will be your first thought of quitting because it is necessary for you to change a brand new environment, maybe brand new industry, brand new role, just so that you can learn outside of your circle what are things that are beyond what you know. And sometimes a new job is really important for you to grow new skills, make new development on your personal growth, and also build new network. All these are some non-monetary benefits that you could bring away outside of your job. So if you feel that you're really stagnant on this job, you feel that there's no more advancement in the near term, and you feel that the company is not trying to groom you to become the next talent or the next manager, then maybe it's time for you to leave and find a new one. Of course, this is for those people who are self-motivated and driven and they want to take up new challenges. If you're comfortable in your current role and you just like to slack, okay, then there's no problem in staying in the same job. Getting comfortable pay and the people you're familiar with, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to achieve much more, then this is something that you should look towards too. And there's something more you want to achieve in terms of monetary, definitely check out the sponsor of today. Here's a brand new offer for Weibo this month and it's eligible for both new and existing customers. For new users, you have to fund $300 on your first deposit and execute one trade so you can buy one cheap stock. And glad to know that Weibo is offering free commission on your first 6 months so you don't have to pay a fee on that. And with this requirement fulfilled, you will win 6 to 40 shares of Tesla, Apple, Microsoft or Google shares. On top of that, if you execute 3 options trade, you'll win 8 options trading vouchers, which is worth $10 to $100 each. And for options pricing, Weibo is charging 55 cents per contract, excluding any regulatory fees. And you know what? Even existing customers of Weibo can win something as well, because if you execute one options trade, you will also win 1 options trading voucher worth $10 to $100 each. So use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. The second push factor that will lead you to quit your job is definitely the lack of fulfillment. And by lack of fulfillment, I'm talking about consistent unsatisfaction, consistent unhappiness, and you are always not fulfilled in your current role in the company. Some of you may feel the difference in the work that you're doing. When you're initially placed on this role, you're full of energy and you know that you can make a lot of difference, make an impact to the people that you're working with or to the business. But as time goes by, you realize that more responsibilities and projects have been added to your plate. You're running out of capacity and you're moving at such a high pace that you cannot stop and take a break. You're suffocating. And you realize that your efforts are not being recognized even though you have put more onto your plate. Or for some of you, the work has become so mundane, so repetitive that you don't derive happiness and fulfillment when you're doing this job day in, day out, 365 days a year. Now, don't belittle all these small nuances because it will definitely have an impact to your overall mental and physical health. If you're stressed from your work, not only you will have more illnesses, but you have to take more breaks. And when you're taking more breaks, your boss may not like it. In fact, if you bring all these negative emotions and negativity back home, Your family members suffer as a result from your frustration, and it may lead to family disagreements, quarrels, even strain the relationship between the couple or even with their kids. So you see, a lack of fulfillment in your job will ultimately impact your personal life, whether it will impact your physical health, mental health, or your interpersonal relationships. All this would definitely be affected if your job is not good enough. So I would say that it's better to look for opportunities that aligns with your passions and what you are energetic working for. Does your current role align with your values and your personal growth? If not, you should seek better alternatives, because a job is not forever, right? If you're in a job, it's either you earn, which means you make a lot of money, or you learn, whereby even if you do not make a lot of money, you can gain a lot of experience from the people that you are dealing with. And one day, with that amount of experience, you may be able to be self-employed and start out a business yourself. So if your current job is not fulfilling the expect, then sad to say, you're probably at the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's time for you to look for a change so that it can better align to your own personal growth. The last reason to quit your job will be a pull reason, and this is maybe the most important one, which is financial considerations. Do you realize that the company pays you just enough to keep you at your job? And if there are new hires coming into your team, most likely they will be paid at a higher salary than you. And some of you may know by now that company's loyalty is just rubbish. The longer you stay within the same company, the longer your pay stagnates. So if you are able to job hop to a new company for better pay, better prospects, and better positions, then always go for it. Now, some of you may think that salary is so superficial. I'm not here for the money, I'm here for the relevant work experience. But I can tell you that as you grow and develop throughout your lives, there will be more things that you need to pay for. You have your family bills to pay, you have more mouths to feed if you're raising a family, and even if you don't have to take care of family, the annual inflation rate is just going to eat up the time value of your money as the value decreases over time on the purchasing power. So if you feel that your current job is not paying you well enough, you feel that there's a mismatch between your skills level and what the market is paying for other industry experts within the same field, then I would say it's time for you to at least start looking for a new job, or maybe start it out your own. And some of you may complain, why does the company pay more to hire new hires instead of retaining their own current employees? You have to realize the fact that when an individual hops to a new job, they are also taking the risk that the new company will feed them in terms of the pay and the company work environment, and all the previous networks that he had built in the previous company will now maybe not be much of use to him, and he or she has to take additional risks to fit into the new company culture. So it's only natural that the new company pays a higher rate to attract this new hire to join the company. Now, if you're just an existing employee with the same company for over 10 years, they only need to retain you, give you a small annual increment of 4 to 5% every year to keep you, because they know that you will not want to change. And if you're getting older, you are even harder to change because of the age discrimination on hiring practice. So if you have the opportunity laid out in front of you in terms of financial consideration, then 99% of you would probably take it and advance further in life. But in conclusion, I would say that all these three reasons are not exhaustive. It all depends on your personal level, right? Personal status, personal relationships, whether you are already financially independent and you really love to stay in this job forever because you have good colleagues, you have a good work environment, you have a good boss. All this would encourage you to stay within the job instead of reaching out to a new unknown at a new company. You have to consider that individual circumstances may vary, and what are your priorities? Is it for better pay prospects? Is it for better work-life balance? Or are you already enjoying that good work-life balance that you don't want to give up or sacrifice when you move to a new company? And I would say for myself, I did consider all these three things before I eventually quit my job and start a business full-time. But there will still be some things that I reflect over time, and I listed out all my reflections on my previous video right here.